Okay, so a few months ago, I made up a bucket list and I listed everybody and everything that I wanted to do before I die. And two of those things happened a few weeks ago, and I was so incredibly grateful and thankful. And two of those things were meeting Bayside and meeting Eric Whitacre. It all happened within a 24-hour period, and I still pinch myself. Shortly after posting my bucket list picture, Bayside responded to me, and needless to say, I cried. And I called Becky. Well, I FaceTimed her, and she cried because she loves Bayside, and that was the beginning of me just getting really, really excited to cross things off my bucket list. Then shortly after Bayside tweeted me, Eric tweeted me. Well, Eric and I have been talking kind of back and forth since November, but he followed me on Twitter. He never follows anybody, and he followed little old me. So we were able to message each other back and forth and really set up a plan to meet when we were in Dallas at the same time. Another person I was talking to over Twitter was JD, and he actually works with the company for the So What Music Festival that was hosting the festival that Bayside was playing with. And we started tweeting back and forth about how he wanted to help me meet Bayside and wanted to make sure that everything played out the way it did. And I was able to meet him when I went to the festival, so it was a lot of fun. These pictures are really weird. I don't know what happened when it transferred from my camera to the computer, but we drove up to Dallas and Becky came. We all met up in Dallas. We spent the night, and it was really great because the next morning we got up and we headed off to the So What Music Festival. At this point, I had a plan with Eric Whitacre to meet up for breakfast. And I felt really confident in that, but I didn't have anything really set in stone for when I would meet Bayside. I just gotten that tweet and it was it. I didn't have any, hey, let's meet here and let's meet there. And so when we got to the music festival, someone had told us that if we wanted to meet the band, we should probably talk to someone at their merch table. We met up with Timmy. So I started talking to Timmy. I told him my situation. I told him about the bucket list. I showed him Bayside's tweet. And we just connected right away. And he said, well, they'll be here around 4:30. And I said, when they get here, can you talk to them? Can you tell them my story? And if they say yes or no, can you text us and let us know what they say? So he took Chris's phone number down. And we went back to the hotel because I highly underestimated how cold it was going to be, and my hands were hurting very bad. So I needed to go and get hand warmers. While I was at the hotel, I saw that Bayside's flight had gotten canceled, and my heart broke. They chartered a plane, they made the show, and around 8:40 we started heading to the stage. And I looked up at the stage, and there was Bayside. And my heart broke because I just wanted to meet them, and it just didn't seem possible at that point. And as much as I really tried to enjoy the show, my heart was shattered. So I cried the entire show. And they did play our wedding song. They played mine and Chris's wedding song, and we were able to dance to it. So that was really awesome. When the show was over, I turned around, and there was Timmy. And I said, Timmy, it's not going to happen. And he's like, what do you mean it's not going to happen? I said, I'm not going to get to meet Bayside. And I just started crying. And he grabbed my shoulders, and I was like, I've been a fan for 11 years, and this might be my only chance to do it. And I just want to really meet him. He's like, hold on. I'm going to go. Stay right here. I'll be right back. So he ran off, and he came back and got me. And he was like, come here. He said, you can't go back there, and you can't meet them because security's being an ass. But they're at the fence. And when I got to the fence, one by one, they all came out to say hello to me. Each one of them apologized, said that they would have met me sooner, but the flight got canceled and blah, 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 blah. But that they were so happy that they were able to meet up with me. I got to hug each and every one of them. And it was so magical because I just love these guys. They're highly underrated. And it was so crazy to be standing there looking at Anthony, the lead singer, because everyone identifies with the singer the most. He's the one that relays the message. And there he was, standing right in front of me. And Jack, he seemed so excited to meet me. He gave me some guitar picks, and it was so nice of him. I got several hugs from them. We talked for about 10 or 15 minutes. So, Timmy, if you're hearing this, thank you so much. You really made that night so magical. And Bayside, if you ever get to hear this, thank you so much for meeting me. The next morning, we got up to go to the restaurant to meet Eric Whitacre, which was completely amazing. For those of you who do not know who Eric Whitacre is, he is a composer of music. He has worked on a lot of projects. For those of you who've known me for a while, you know that I've been a part of his virtual choir projects. So I did the Fly to Paradise song, and a few months after that, he worked with Disney to write a music song called Glow. You had to audition for that. Now with virtual choir, you sing your song, you send it in, boom, bam, you're part of the choir. But with the Disney project, you had to audition for it, and he didn't pick the singers. Disney picked the singers. I got to share these stories with him, and I told him that I like to go around saying that I'm Disney approved. He seemed so interested in what I was talking about. He asked me a lot of questions about my breast cancer. He asked Chris about his band director stuff, and he asked Becky about her lupus stuff. And he would ask the question, and he would sit and listen. And later on, I felt like, well, holy crap, did I ask him a lot of questions? Like, I didn't want it to be just all about me, but Chris reassured me that every time I asked him a question, he would ask me a question about me, so he was always redirecting it to me. And we sat there and we had breakfast for like 2.5 hours, which is so insanely awesome. By the time we left, I kind of felt like, not that he is a good friend, but that he's a good acquaintance. And, you know, if I saw him out in public, I could be like, hey, Eric, what's up? And so it was just really nice that I was able to meet these people and look them in the eye and thank them for the influence that they've had in my life. And all of them were very humble, as it is to be expected. So, Eric, if you're listening to this, thank you again so much for meeting me. And I hope that I get to meet you again before I get really ill. And you've really made a lasting impression on me and Chris and Becky. And that's for their memory banks more than mine. So years after I'm gone, they can look back at this weekend and say, hey, you remember that time we met Bayside and we met Eric Whitacre, and she was totally awesome. And she had all these famous friends. She was so famous. Not really. But I'm going to go ahead and end my little storytelling because I'm starting to cough and my mouth is really dry from my cough medicine. But I have a very special guest that's going to close out my video for me. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the pictures and the story. And I hope to add pentatonics to that. Love pentatonics, and I would also love to add We the Kings to that, and Korn, because Korn's playing with Rob Zombie in December. So I'm now on a mission to go to as many concerts as I can before my health really gets bad. With the last scan, we found cancer in my spine. I'm going to go in around the 11th to do a spine and brain MRI, because the spot in my brain does look a little bit slower, or a little bit bigger, but he thinks that it's just swelling, like a fluid buildup in the brain. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoy my closing. Bye, guys.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. Check your boobs, check your balls, and remember, when life gets overwhelming, this too shall pass.